100% run and 30 missiles. There's so many missiles everywhere. He will have to collect Spring Ball and skip Grapple Beam, which means we likely will see an Ice Clip, and he'll have to get the Criteria Power Bomb. A Canadian Owl has to defeat both Crocomire and Dragon, pick up the Criteria Super Missile, get the Wreck Ship Map Station, collect 50 out of 75 Norfair missiles, and destroy at least one statue, reminding you all that destroying a statue means you have to destroy a boss and then go to the G4 room and watch that statue crumble.
So, first impressions are that both runners will definitely be going down at Red Tower. This is definitely, both of them need Speed Booster for Criteria Super Missile and one of the Brinstar Energy Recharge.
Yep.
The Decora, more specifically. So they will both be going down. I think if they're going up, then they are kind of trolling.
Yeah. In Owl's case, I will point one thing out. He could get the Wreck Ship Map Station without actually doing any other part of the Wreck Ship, but he does have to kill Dragon. I doubt he's going to want to do that suitless, so I suspect he will pick up Gravity Suit, and thus will have to kill Phantoon. Azure has choice. Well, he's going to also want to pick up that Gravity Suit because he has to go to Spring Ball. I will point out Azure, a veteran of many a randomizer, which sometimes forces you to do the Ice Clip, so I doubt he'll have any issues there. But having to go to Spring Ball is always annoying because it's quite a ways away.
So for Canadian Owl, I don't know if this is correct. I kind of want to say column 1 for him.
Yeah,
doesn't pick up charge, but the only thing you would have to go out of the way for is getting that Decora energy recharge.
Yep.
Which isn't too bad. And then he could theoretically, I would say, get ice and then finish near plasma.
Yeah, that'd be reasonable.
Yeah, since he needs to fight Dragon anyways, he can go straight from Dragon to plasma. There's a really nice route there. And Owl, of course, does run old route pretty well. So he is probably comfortable with that little set of rooms. Of course, the no charge beam does make a couple things a little bit tricky, and that would force him to do 3 bosses potentially. So not super ideal, but also not bad.
Yeah, column 1 not being a good one for Azure because that would force him to kill Dragon, and that's quite a ways out of the way compared to what he already has to do.
Yeah, so for Azder,
you know, I'm looking at top left, bottom right, possibly for Azder.
I was looking at column 4 actually. Like the only thing that's really annoying that forces is the Norfair missiles, because he needs to go.
Power bombs.
Well, the Brinstar power bombs aren't too bad because he already has to do Brinstar cleanup to get the Decora refill.
That's true.
So, and then destroy 2 statues. If he goes down first, he can pass by that room after killing Kraid and Phantoon.
Yeah.
So, I think.
Yeah, I'm really glad there's not a tile that says destroy 3 statues.
Yeah, and then he can end at Spring Ball from there.
Yep. I am looking at the top left, bottom right. Ice Beam is not a hard pickup. He could get the Meridia. You know, he can get either he'd get the Mama Turtle E-Tank. That'd be the one to get. Finishing in an elevator is probably the worst part about that one because you'd have to get back to probably the Norfair elevator after Spring Ball. Destroying 1 statue, you could do that at any point in time after Kraid or after Phantoon, so that wouldn't be too bad. Maybe a little harder to pair what Azure has to do than what Owl has to do, but I think Owl's got the slightly harder row, having to go all the way to Dragon at the end.
Yeah, I would say Azure has both of those choices, column 4 and TLBR, are pretty even to pair with row 4. I think TLBR forces a little bit more traveling, whereas column 4 forces more collection. So it's just up to which the runner prefers to do. But I think they're comparable in terms of speed.
Sure. Although one more thing I would point out, since he's got to skip Grapple Beam anyway, it'd suck to have to kill Crocomire, and at least 2 of those missiles, there are 2 missiles down past Crocomire in Norfair, and there are 4 missiles past in Lower Norfair. He's definitely not going to want to get any of the 4 missiles in Lower Norfair, so it'd force a Croc kill. So I'm not sure that that would be the way to go, but we'll see what he ends up doing.
That is true. Maybe you're right. So we'll see what Asher decides to do. There's other valid options as well. Potentially something like row 1 if he wants to skip high jump. I mean, he doesn't want to, but maybe he thinks that's fastest. Actually, no, he can't do that because he probably wants the Varia unless he wants to do hell runs or a kind of weird backtrack.
Yeah.
But point is, there's a lot of decent options, but nothing that sticks out.
Yeah.
At least not that we've seen yet. Could do row 3.
Yeah, Birdia Powerbomb is probably the worst one in there.
Well,
that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, because he can get that on the way to Spring Ball.
Yep.
So actually, I think that might be the best, but don't quote me on that. We've done a lot of theory crafting for Azder already, so I don't know if you see anything else for Owl. Not too much to point out early game.
Yeah, I like that column 1, and with the exception of having to skip charge beam. That's always a pain to skip that charge beam, but he doesn't really need charge beam for the bosses yet. Although Crocomire is actually honestly the worst one as far as the skip charge beam. He could use speed booster for a Dragon, and Kraid with a quick kill. You don't need charge beam, and nor for Fantoon. But Crocomire can get a little scary when you have to do an ammo-only kill.
So I'm going to go ahead and say the hardest part about skipping charge beam is remembering to actually skip charge beam. Because, like, honestly,
that is very reasonable.
Like, honestly, the only bosses where charge beam saves a ton of time are Ridley and Mother Brain, and you're very rarely going to see Ridley in a dab race, and quite literally never going to see Mother Brain.
Nope.
Unless somebody is a little bit too confident, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason to do Mother Brain is if for some reason you need to do the animals that way, which does count, but.
Well, if you're feeling really confident that you can win, I suppose you could do it.
Yeah. Okay. Azure picking up charge beam, so he loses that square. No surprise. So he's not doing row 3.
Yep,
Let's see what Owl does here. This will be more telling. Owl's skipping charge beam, so that could mean he is doing column 1.
What do you think about row 3 for Owl, actually?
Okay, well, we already said destroy 1 statue, so we just have to backtrack that a little bit later. Again, Norfair Map Station is free. Meridia Powerbomb, a bit of a pain, but, I mean, you can get that. He's going to get a gravity suit because he's going to want to kill Dragon. I can see doing that after Dragon without too much difficulty, and then that can route you back to the Norfair elevator. So that's not a bad idea either.
Yeah. You could get Powerbomb on the way out of Dragon and then go down to the Norfair elevator. So actually, Asher...
He's going up?
I was going to comment that he did use the missile strat on the pirates in Green Pirate Shaft, but he is in fact going up. So I wonder what he has in mind. Remember, no matter what, he will have to come back to do the Meridia Brinstar cleanup after he picks up Speed Booster.
God, I still don't like this if you have to pick up Speed Booster. It'll be interesting to see whether because he has to get the criteria Powerbomb. It's after watching Feral have to basically backtrack to that. I kind of expect, I think it's shorter for Azure if he's going to do the wreck ship first to bomb jump his way up there, rather than use then get Speed Booster and backtrack all the way up there to get it that way. So there's that. And he's still going to have to backtrack to the Decora to get that Brinstar Energy recharge station.
Honestly, I think if you Unless you have to basically skip Norfair entirely, I feel like doing Kraid first is generally better in Deb. Like, I think I think Fantoon first is super overrated. Like, there's situations where it's correct, but there's a lot less situations than you might think initially, just because it's a faster any percent route.
Well, Owl picking up his various suits, so we know he's not doing row 1, he's not doing column 5, and he's not doing the bottom left, top right diagonal. But it makes me wonder if Azur's thinking of column 5 at all. The biggest tile for the early wreck ship really is that collect gravity suit and skip various suit.
So I do want to bring something up. I said last race where that 35 super missile tile, it looks scary, but in practice it just ends up being go to Meridia and pick up all the super missiles there, because there's 15 of them that you can pick up in the span of about a minute or so.
Yep.
So yeah, that plus both wreck ship supers and early supers would give him 30, which means he just needs to pick up one more, and he needs to do a Brinstar cleanup to get the Decora refill. So he could pick up Edacoons or Spore Spawn supers, and that would put him at his total of 35.
Okay, Azure into the Fantoon fight. I did notice he did take the save at the red tower area. Owl about to lose his skip high jump tile.
Well, he could just be taking the E-tank.
He could just do that. It's pretty rare that you see someone decide to do a rower column with a skip high jump boots. It's not unheard of.
Yeah, I think it would have to be a very specific situation for you to willingly skip high jump.
Yeah, has to be a really good column or row at the time for everything else.
No, I don't actually think column 2 is too bad, other than the skip high jump.
No, not at all.
Also, I think the card's frozen on the restream, because it is updating for me, but it's not updating on the. So that is not our tracker's fault.
Nope, our tracker is doing it right.
Once again, shout out to Polar Bear Bunny for doing the tracking again. She also did the last race we just commentated at 5 p.m. a couple hours ago. And yeah, it could be tough. If you do a lot of races in a row, it can start to all blend together. So you know how it is. I think you and I can both attest to that with
I tracked
during
once
the random
and I was
league especially.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, that's actually easier. But yeah, I tracked one dab race and I was only following one runner and it was terrible. So we got experts like Polar Bear Bunny that do a much better job. Okay, Azure did pick up all the super missiles.
Yep, we did see him go for that right size supers. And generally, if you're picking up the right supers, you're also going to pick up the left.
Okay, Owl's here to pick up missiles.
Yep. Remember, if he doesn't want to go to Lower Norfair, there's only one missile in Upper Norfair he can skip.
I don't know about you. I think the missile I would skip would be the Crumble Shap missile. You're gonna have to do a Croc kill to get one, because there's, like I said, there's 2 missiles in Croc and 4 in Lower Norfair, and probably the best one probably not going to want to go to Lower Norfair. He has no other reason to go down there.
So the one thing I do have against that is the fact that Owl could Oh wait, no, he skipped, or he picked up charge beam, right?
Yeah, he picked charge.
No, Owl skipped charge, so he
Owl,
could
yeah, no, he did skip
he could
charge.
be
You're right.
planning on doing column 1, which would mean he could very well go to ice beam, and then from ice beam to, well, no, he can't do that because it doesn't have power bombs. Forget it. He's probably gonna skip those crumple shaft missiles.
Yeah, he'd probably get. I mean, if I would guess if he's doing that, would get ice beam after doing croc anyway on his way out. He's more than capable of doing the mock ball over there, but doing it after you've got your speed booster that he's picking up right now. Remember to pick up the missiles before getting that speed booster.
So I wasn't really looking at azder, but he got up a little bit low during that, the bowling alley. He still took 2 hits, but he just didn't have much more than 2 hits worth of health.
Yeah, he's got 24 energy left, so it's good that he only took 2 hits, because those spikes do 60 HP damage. Not good. He wouldn't have survived one more hit. Owl doing some farming. Azur's going to head on down. Let's see which way he goes first. So he's going to not picking up those criteria power bombs yet. I guess he's going to come back for them after he picks up speed booster.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. He will have to go. Well, he doesn't necessarily need to go up to criteria again. Or, well, yes, he does.
He has to get the power bomb. So here's a thought on his. He could go to Norfair, do the stuff he needs to get his get the speed booster, and then go to Meridia, get that spring ball, and then work his way do the Brinstar cleanup from there, and maybe even end at the criteria power bombs.
So that is possible, actually. I didn't really think about that. Azur's showing off a nice little glitch, aiming up diagonally through the refill. I don't know. That's probably frame perfect, but maybe not.
Yeah, visiting that Sloter's refill, as he has to visit all the refill stations.
Not picking
Shout
up
out to
Spazer.
Sloters.
So that rules out column 4.
And row 2.
And row 2. But I don't think he was doing row 2 anyways.
No, I don't think so either.
In fact, I can tell you he definitely wasn't doing row 2 because he picked up charge beam.
There you go. Actually, he can't do row 2 because he'd have to pick up grapple beam. And he has to skip grapple. I'm a little surprised he didn't go over to Cray to at least pick up the energy refill there, but I guess he'll get that on his way out. I don't think it, in terms of how quickly to do, it actually might be a little bit fast. You know what? I'll take it back. It would definitely be faster to do it afterwards because he'll have speed booster by then.
Yep. Yeah, he's doing kind of a hybrid route almost. For anyone who's seen the hybrid any % route, or anyone who hasn't seen that, it is ship first, then you do the Bubble Mountain cleanup, getting your speed, high jump, and wave. And then from there, you go to Kraid and Dragon and go down to Ridley. Whereas in this case, I imagine he does that, except instead of going down to Ridley, he goes up to do his Brinstar cleanup and get the Criteria Power Bomb. I think that's what he's planning on doing. I would still say... I still want to say going down first would have been faster, but maybe not. He could also be doing column 5. It is possible.
We'll see if he picks up more super missiles. If he does, then column 5 would make a lot of sense. He's not going to pick up various suits, so he gets that square already. Norfair map station's pretty free if you remember to pick it up. Has to do the criteria power bomb anyway, and destroy at least one statue he can route back in on his Brinstar cleanup on his way back to the criteria power bomb. So
that seems to be what azder is doing, if I had to guess.
By the way, they are still working on getting that bingo card to refresh behind the scenes, so hopefully we get that working.
Yep. So we'll see what we can do there, but you'll just have to bear with us for the time being. Anyways, Owl gets that one of the tiles he needs. Get grapple and skip charge. Or I guess he doesn't need it, but he did it.
Yep.
Could potentially indicate row 2 or column 3. One of the two.
It could. Okay, looks like Azure's not going to do Wave Beam. I suspect he's just going to leave Norfair at this point. There's really nothing else he needs in this area.
So I think out of the two, I would imagine Owl's going to be doing column 3. I think that's a lot quicker. Well,
maybe. It's a good question.
I think it's comparable. It's two different finish tiles. And I would imagine with since he's doing Dragon, I think the finish near a beam is faster than finish in an elevator.
Yeah,
but he does need to pick up significantly less super missiles. As in, you only need to pick up 20, counting the ones he already has, instead of 35. And then 3 E-tanks and 30 missiles. He has that already, actually.
Okay, Azure's going to pick up Ice Beam.
Yeah, and then Wreckship Map Station is pretty free. So I think that's what CanadianOwl is doing. So Azder has high jump boots, right?
Yes.
Okay. Oh well, he needs to get these this ice beam to do the ice clip into Spring Ball. I was gonna say he was getting it to get out of Norfair, but he has high jump, so he's fine. But either way, that is a required pickup for him, so it is smart of him to do that.
Very nice.
Turns out it's pretty smart to do the things you are forced to do.
Yeah, his only other option for getting into Spring Ball would be, well, X-Ray Climb, and then you'd have to pick up X-Ray, and that's really, really slow. Or a Crystal Flash Clip, which would mean picking up 2 more Power Bomb packs, which, I mean, he has to pick up 1 more Power Bomb pack, but having to pick 2. I would also say top left, bottom right, still on the table. It'll depend on how many supers he decides he wants to pick up. I'm not sure. I'm still pretty confident that he's doing... Oh, as we lose the card. And Owl actually did pick up the Crumble Shaft missiles. But I am pretty confident that Azder is doing column 5. I think if he wasn't doing column 5, he would not have picked up those Wreck Ship super missiles. Maybe 1. I don't think he would have picked up both, in particular the ones on the right side. Okay, he's getting his second refill station.
Oh, that is a completely different card altogether.
That is not the card they're doing. Good point. SRS Business tells us that he did the map station, so yeah. And it's marked on the card that we see.
Did Asher do the Wreck Ship map station? I don't think he did.
I don't believe so. Okay, let me see if I can at least get you all the link up. Wait. Oh, I see that's our card again.
That is the right card.
That is now the right card.
That's a start.
Okay, Owl working on his Brinstar cleanup. Looks like Azure's gonna go... Yeah, he's gonna go get those super missiles.
And it looks like we've got our fix here. We're just remaking a new card, or the same card, but remaking the
room.
The room and filling out what's been filled in already. Hopefully we haven't lost anything, but we'll figure it out soon, I imagine, if there's anything we skipped. Did Asher go to Kraid?
Nope. Oh, he got the refill, but he did not go to Kraid.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, now that I say that, I remember him. I remember seeing him get out of Kraid, and then kind of focusing on the card a little bit. So my bad, but he knows what he's doing, so it's all right.
Okay, so he's gonna get these watering hole supers. And picks up an extra missile pack. He's actually got to pick up 30 missiles total, so I'm not sure what his missile count is, but should be pretty close to 30 by now.
All right, we've got our new room set up. Everything should be good, and Owl is going to get his statue here as he defeats Kraid and goes to the statues to watch Kraid's statue break. It doesn't really break, it just changes color. But, you know, let's not get into technicalities here. Still not 100% sure what exactly Owl is doing. We will see. Could still be doing column 3. Looks like he's going down to get that Criteria super missile real quick.
Azure, meanwhile, heading towards Spring Ball.
Actually, Azder, did he pick up Aqueduct?
Yes.
Okay, so that should put him at 35 then. He's actually really close to finishing.
30 or 35?
Well... Oh, that would be 30. Never mind.
But there's plenty on his way, so he can pick up... So he has a few choices. He's got to go back to the Decora Pit. He's going to destroy a statue. Assuming he's doing column... He's got to be doing column 5. So he's got a few choices. He can get the... I don't think he'll get the one in Criteria that we just saw Owl getting. Probably going to get... Let me think about this. Spore Spawn might be the quickest one.
Yeah, I think Spore Spawn is what he's going to do.
Okay, doesn't quite have... Yeah, working on the Ice Clip doesn't quite have that frozen in the right place. The fact that he only has Ice Beam and did not pick up anything else to go with it makes it a little bit harder to do any kind of setup. Yeah, it's still not the right spot.
He needs to watch his health too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yep.
This could get scary.
Be
that looks good.
Yeah, there it is. Because you kind of need that little... You don't want it to be too long. You don't want it to be too short. It's kind of that little scrunched up where one side's a little bit bigger than the other.
So, looking at this again, I think Asher will be picking up the Etikun Supers because he also needs one more E-Tank. And there's an E-Tank right next to Etikun Supers.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and then he's actually... From there, he's all but done. You just need to get to the power bomb. This is actually really good for Asher.
He'll get to the power bombs by way of the G4 room to destroy the statue, and that would be it for him.
Does he need
another I like this route.
Well,
That's
even
a
if
good
he needs
question.
Another missile, he's got plenty of missiles on his way.
Yep.
Honestly, the biggest issue is he needs to get out of Meridia, and
without
he needs
dying.
to go through the sand rooms.
Yeah, those are dangerous.
The Evers, however you pronounce it. But those are some scary enemies, and Asher can take 2 hits, I believe. That is not a lot. Actually gonna kill Shaq-Tool and pick up
that's actually... You know, there's so much of of kill or save Shaq-Tool. That was a really good reason to kill Shaq-Tool. That puts his energy at 112 as opposed to, I think it was like 57 before.
Yeah, that makes this a lot more comfortable for Asher. So really smart little play from there. Not a lot of people would think about. Wait, do those do 50 damage, or did he get hit twice?
He get hit twice.
Okay, he should be fine then. He would technically be dead if he hadn't farmed. So
Yeah.
once again,
Oh boy. Oh
paid
boy.
off, but he's not out of the clear yet.
Nope.
Okay, now he should be.
Well, he's just got to be careful with these crabs, and hopefully, it looks like he's gonna just super them.
He's gonna super the door.
Oh, you want a power bomb? That works too.
Oh,
Okay,
meanwhile.
Yep, finishing up his Fantoon fight. Yeah, and showing why that Dragon Square is pretty powerful, because Owl's got to go all the way up to get that gravity suit, then has to go all the way back down to kill Dragon.
Yeah, and honestly, we're still not sure what Owl's doing. Like, he didn't pick up the map station, unless he picked it up on the way in.
I didn't. I did not see if he picked up the map station, but you can pick it up beforehand.
Okay, I'm being told he did.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, we see in chat. Thank you, Cypher Signal.
That makes more sense. I guess he has to do that anyways. So that makes extra more sense.
You know, I always like to say a good strategy is to do the things that you're actually required to do.
Alright, so Owl's probably doing column 3. In fact, I would say there's no way he's doing anything else.
Which he's still got a lot to pick up before he can finish that off.
Well, he's got to get all the Meridia supers, kill Dragon, and then
get to an elevator.
So I want to say the closest elevator from Dragon is the Criteria Meridia elevator.
Yeah, that might. So I don't know. That's a good question. That might be the closest one. It's either that or the Dorfair one.
All right. Well, this is the last recharge station for Azder.
And he uses it, which is probably pretty smart.
Well,
he's still been low on energy. Yeah, he's been low on energy this entire race. Plus, of course, getting enough energy to do the Shine Spark up.
So I am curious at Azder's missile count because I was told he's under 30, but he is not playing like he's under 30.
No, he's still got a few more spots he can pick missiles up. I don't know if he picked up all the missiles at early supers. There's the 230 missiles that are nearby. Those would probably be the simplest ones for him to get.
It is possible he assumed he'd pick up 30 missiles on the way, and so he just focused on the 3 E-tanks. But he's got everything else besides Criteria Powerbomb that he needs. That makes his 35th super missile there at Edikun. Honestly, Owl's making really good pace as well. Just, it's hard to match. I mean, Azder, if he has that 30th missile, he's on sub 35 pace again for the second race in a row.
It'll be interesting to see if he stops at the ship before. If not, we'll ask him to stop at the ship after just to confirm the 30 missiles.
Oh, right. He also needs to destroy a statue. So maybe not sub 35, but still really good.
Okay, Polar Bear Bunny telling us that she's got 30 marks, so we'll trust her on that. But still be good to, with the ship right there, it's never a bad idea to just confirm these things. It is perfectly okay to dot done and then double check after the fact.
Yep, we are in the home stretch. And honestly, it's kind of greedy of me, but I kind of want to see Owl finish to see what kind of time he gets. Because this could very easily still be sub 40. But regardless, azder has officially done with an official time of 35 minutes and 27 seconds. That's what our third fastest race time. And it looks like he's going to confirm his missiles after he does a little dance. We'll see when he decides. Okay, looks like he's going now. Well, I assume that means
that he's got him since he's
got
already
him.
in. He's here, joining us. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, you guys didn't see the confirm on the stream yet?
Not yet. It's there now.
Oh.
I mean, we were pretty certain. Polar Bear Buddy told us you'd gotten them, but you were so low on them. We just want to make sure we see it.
I counted 6. Like I wasn't sure when I was heading to Aqueduct, but then I realized for sure I had them, so I jumped over the missile there.
Mm-hmm.
So, not too long ago, you just got the fastest race of the tournament, and now you have the third fastest race. So, how are you feeling about that?
I feel like spring ball without grapple is a common theme here for whatever reason. Actually, there's probably a legit reason for that. It's probably weighted too highly in the difficulty in the cards. So it gets put in easier rows.
You know, I wonder about that because I don't find like you watched the earlier match with Farrell. I find what he had to do much more difficult trying to get up the other side with grapple beam if you don't have high jump boots than try and do the ice clip.
We all know this is outdated, right? But like when this was made, this was a trick that was really, really hard for people. And like I didn't use the setup that Hundo uses. That's pretty free. I haven't learned it, but by all accounts that I've heard from people who actually run Hundo, it's pretty free. But like even so, I understand way better how to do the clip than I did before, and I think pretty much everyone just understands the game better. So it's not nearly as difficult. It's like that. So that the waiting for that factors in like, you know, minutes of attempts on a trick that everyone just thought sucked.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that makes a lot of sense. We were looking. What was it? I forget what the other column we were. Oh, I think it was column 3 we were looking at. Maybe. Did you have any thoughts of doing anything other than column 5, or did you just go right to column 5 and say that's the one I'm doing?
See, I can't do column 3 because it has collect grapple.
Oh no, yeah, of course.
But I did look at it. I did.
Oh no, it was column 4 maybe. No, it wasn't column 4.
I think we were looking at TLBR.
Oh, that's
TLBR.
right. Yeah, that's right. It's TLBR.
Meridian Energy Tank. That's pretty free. That might have been better. I did have to get Ice Beam, so I could. Yeah, okay. That actually might have been better. I was near I'm close to an elevator. Yeah, that was probably better, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then of course, actually, I really ended up liking your route because at first we all thought it'd be a crate first, go down first route. But I really liked the way you routed in Brinstar after you did all the Meridia stuff. I thought that was pretty good.
That was my favorite part of it. I was like, I was thinking as I was going to Rick Ship, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do like the, you know, go back through Brinstar at that point because I'll have power bombs. And I was like, wait, no, I can just go and get Speed Booster first and then do everything backwards. And then, like, I was thinking at first I wanted to end at Spring Ball, but it's really not that bad to get out. I thought this was way better.
Yep, and Nice. We like the farming of Shacktool. That's actually pretty important. Everybody does the meme of kill or let Shacktool live, and you actually pretty much had to kill him because I don't think you make it out of Meridia if you'd let him live.
You can, but it's not the thing that you should risk.
Yeah,
like, I was super in
yeah.
crabs too. I had more supers than I had missiles.
That was pretty funny. Those crabs do a lot of damage, so I think that was a really good idea to farm those a little bit.
So how did Owl do, and like, what do you think of the row that I signed him in comparison?
I think the row you assigned him was much more difficult because he had to go to Dragon.
Yeah, Dragon is like the big thing for me. Like I was looking at row 1 at first. I was like, I like to assign people collect gravity and skip varia because they like if they run old route, that's a pretty big disadvantage. But like Owl's done a lot of stuff. Yeah. So like he's gonna lose time to it for sure, but like he's not gonna lose as much time to it as some other people would. So I was like, maybe like, I don't know, that row actually seems pretty easy, and like it's just like it doesn't have that much collection.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really anything with good collection in this.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at column 4 as a assigned row to someone.
I was looking at that too.
Because he had the 24 Prince Star power bombs, and then I actually think 50 out of 75 Norfer missiles is kind of dumb.
Yeah,
I mean, I totally understand why. I mean, all 75 Norfer missiles would just be horrible because that'd be, kill Dragon and pick up all those missiles all in the same tile. But how about a 70 out of 75 Norfer missiles? Maybe that's the better way to go. I don't know.
You'd have to go all the way to Ridley. Wait, no, you'd have to go to
we have to go
Mickey
past Ridley. Yeah, Mickey Mouse.
Oh yeah, you have to go Musketeers.
Yeah. But but 50 you don't even have to go to Lower Norfair. Seems kind of I feel it makes it a pretty weak tile as far as collection goes. But there's just, like you said, there's just not a whole lot of collection.
Oh no, it worked out here, and the reason it worked out is because it was in a row where I managed to force him to do Dragon and a bunch of Upper Norfair stuff in the same row. That's why I picked it.
Exactly.
And Criteria Super Missile. So like I was looking at column 4 before. I saw destroy at least 2 statues, and I'm like, oh, that's a good one. And it destroyed 2 statues and do Norfair stuff is pretty bad. But then I saw row 5, and it's just like, well, I can make him do Deep Meridia too, so. Like, Criteria Super Missile kind of covers what I wanted 2 statues to do anyways, sort of.
Well, a quick shout out to CanadianOwl, who's finished with an official time of 42:20.
Just still a
one of the
darn fast time.
In the tournament. And it looks like he will be coming in for an interview, so that's something to look forward to, depending on who you ask.
And there he is. How you doing, Owl?
Fine.
GG.
Thanks.
GG.
So thanks. I gotta ask, what was your thought process on assigning row 4?
I thought about grouping that spring ball tile with the collect all 3 Brinstar recharge stations, because it forces some backtracking. And also into Meridia. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it did do a little bit of backtracking. Yeah, if you watch this back, you'll see actually a pretty cool route where azder went and wreck ship first, and then picked up speed booster, and then did Meridia, and then backtracked up to the Criteria power bomb.
I actually wonder if Phrase has been talking about this for a while, but if doing a hell run to speed would be better for this. Because you have to get 3 E-tanks, so like maybe if I doubled back for Taco Tank or whatever. But it was less safe than doing Fantine.
Yeah. Well, for someone that's experienced with early wreck ship, yeah, it probably is less safe. For someone like me, I'll take my chances with the hell runs. Thank you. I've done a lot more of those.
I also hate doing wreck ship with high jump and speed. It's really hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I actually agree with a lot of that. I spent so many rando league races without high jump boots. Wreck ship, except for going to the E-tank, just feels so natural without high jump.
Hey, it's kind of a weird level design thing since you're not supposed to be without it there.
Yeah, that's so true.
Although, like you do have to use high jump to avoid wall jumping, but just the steps are spaced really well for not having it.
All right then. So let's see. It looks like Azure, you'll be waiting on the winner of Feral and Freya's. So that should be an interesting race to get to you, and an interesting race no matter who comes out on top there. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good actually. I was feeling not very good towards the start of this tournament because I was making a lot of routing mistakes, and I was making a lot of bad decisions with res that I gave people. Yeah, this one had me worried at the start because none of the res in this card seemed that bad, so I wasn't sure about what to assign. Just in terms of, if I assign something that I think, okay, that's kind of hard, I guess, and then I just totally missed something that made it really easy. But I feel better about that. Like I can hold my own against them if I do well. Like I think I did really well this time and last time. So.
Well, in the last one you only had the fastest race time in the tournament, so I'd say you did pretty well in the last one.
Yeah, I didn't really make any major mistakes at all this one or last one.
All right, so coming up on the schedule, right now we only have one more race scheduled, but as you can see, more to come. Since Feral just won his race, a little early to expect him to have already scheduled with Freyas. But we do have, again, the winner's bracket final coming up on Thursday. That'll be Rumble's commentating that. Kip versus Derp, who's commentating right now. That'll be Thursday at 6 o'clock. And that should be a really good race. Two of our fastest times to date as well. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Unfortunately, I don't have the third fastest time anymore because Asher just took it.
Well, you beat my GT Classic PB, so.
Oh no.
Alright. That's all I needed to hear.
But that'll be a really fun one. So I hope you all tune in for that. Any last words, guys?
I'm the weak player.
I'd say you did pretty well.
Did anyone see that snippet from chat from the earlier match?
Yeah.
I screenshotted it just in case.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Oh boy. Alright. I think that's it.
And Polar Bear Bunny thankfully reminding us that you should follow these runners. And actually, we should have done that in the last race. If you're not already following Woody and Feral, you should be. Plus, you can, if you want to follow me and Derp, and you definitely should follow Derp and Polar Bear Bunny and all that good stuff. But yeah, that'll be it for us. Tune in for sure on Thursday at 6, and we'll keep an eye out on the schedule because there should be some more matches to be scheduled in the near future. I hope you all enjoy it. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Polar Bear Bunny for tracking. Thank you to Derp for joining me for both of these races. Thank you to Azder and CanadianOwl and to Feral and Woody from the previous race for putting on 2 very good shows for us. Thank you to SpeedGaming and to Vince Easter for doing the restream and fixing the card when the internet decided to have a few issues with it, so we could see the card back after whatever happened. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. And that'll do it for us. So as always, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you may be.